My foster parents starved me, thinking I was a helpless foster kid, not knowing I was undercover CPS. I showed up at the Erickson house with a black eye, the unwashed hair, and a garbage bag of thrift store clothes that reeked of cigarette smoke. My caseworker Elizabeth knocked on their suburban door while I hunched behind her, playing the part of a traumatized 12-year-old perfectly. In reality, I was 18, and part of the youngest undercover operative CPS had ever approved. Mrs. Erickson's smile melted off her face the second she saw me. She took one look at my torn sneakers and the bruises I'd carefully applied with makeup, and her whole body language shifted. Without even introducing herself, she told Elizabeth to just leave the paperwork on the porch. Elizabeth's voice stayed professional as she explained I'd need to be shown my room and given the house rules. Mrs. Erickson rolled her eyes and said she'd handled dozens of these kids before. She knew the drill. When Elizabeth reached out to shake my hand goodbye before leaving, Mrs. Erickson physically stepped between us. She pulled out hand sanitizer and pumped it aggressively while explaining that foster kids often carry diseases. I tried to speak up, practicing the scared whisper we'd rehearsed. Where do I? Mrs. Erickson cut me off with a sharp laugh. I've heard every manipulation tactic in the book, so don't even try that innocent little girl Bez with me. She grabbed my garbage bag and held it at arm's length, leading me inside. Mr. Erickson emerged from the kitchen and looked me up and down like I was livestock. Another runner? He asked his wife. She shrugged and said, probably, based on the black eye. She dropped my bag on the floor and used her foot to push it toward the basement door. Your room's downstairs, she announced. Not a bedroom, a basement. She flicked on a single bare bulb illuminating concrete walls and a stained mattress on the floor. Bathroom's upstairs, but that's for family, she said. She pointed to a bucket in the corner. You'll make do. The teddy bear tucked under my arm, the one item I'd fought to keep, recorded everything through its hidden camera eye. She showed me the lock on the outside of the door. For your protection, she said, demonstrating how it clicked. Foster kids sleepwalk. Can't have you wandering into our children's rooms. At dinner, I sat on the floor in the corner while the Erickson family ate pot roast at their dining table. Mrs. Erickson tossed a piece of bread and a cup of water my way without looking. You'll earn better food with good behavior, she said. Their biological daughter Bethany laughed. The last one took 3 weeks to earn peanut butter. I reached for the bread, but Mr. Erickson slapped my hand so hard it left a mark. Say please first, he commanded. Just because you were raised like an animal doesn't mean you'll act like one here. My handler had warned me it would be bad. 3 kids had died in this home over 5 years, all ruled as accidents. But living it was different than reading the files. That night, locked in the basement, I activated the emergency recorder sewn into my teddy bear's stomach. Every sound would transmit directly to CPS headquarters. The real torture started on day 3. Mrs. Erickson decided I smelled. She stripped me in the backyard and hosed me down with freezing water while their children watched from the window. Can't have you contaminating our shower, she explained to the neighbors who peered over the fence. These kids come from horrible places. When I shivered, she sprayed directly in my face. I made sure that the camera in my teddy bear caught her smile. She started withholding food as punishment for imagined infractions. Looking at her children was worth skipping breakfast. Speaking without permission meant no lunch. By day 5, I was dizzy with hunger, playing the part too well. But it was Mr. Erickson who truly made my blood run cold. He'd wait until his wife was shopping to visit the basement. He'd sit on the stairs and describe what happened to the other foster kids. How one fell down these very stairs. How another accidentally drank cleaning fluid. How the third one wandered off and was found in the river. Foster kids are so clumsy, he'd say, pulling out his knife to clean his nails. So many accidents happen when no one's paying attention. On day 7, they escalated to physical abuse. Mrs. Erickson discovered I'd hidden a granola bar in my pillowcase. One their daughter Bethany had actually snuck me out of pity. She grabbed my hair and dragged me up the stairs, my bear falling and bouncing behind us, still recording. She called me a thief, a liar, proof that foster kids were genetically damaged. She made me stand in the corner of the kitchen for 6 hours. When I swayed from exhaustion, she'd slam a pot next to my head. Their children ate ice cream at the table, laughing each time I flinched. When I finally collapsed, Mr. Erickson grabbed my arm and twisted it behind my back. 3 more kids are coming next month, he whispered. More checks. You'll be gone by then, one way or another. That's when I heard sirens outside. Through the window, I saw 2 police cars and a CPS van. Someone had called them about an abusive foster family. Full story on channel, link below.